We are anchored just east of Didim in a bay called Akbuk, and this is a super well protected spot, particularly from the wind that is coming into this area on Saturday. As you can see, that is gusting up to 37, 38, 39 knots, and it's coming from the south. So we're going to just relocate our anchor and obviously our boat position in this bay to give us a little bit more protection from that southern wind. Actually, we're just going to go a little bit further south into this bay.
Sounds like a plan.
It does.
Okay, I'm bringing up the snubber.
Let it out, go all the way up to 40 metres to the waterline, and then we'll just, once she's settled and in, we'll let out the last of it once she's in. Alright, drop it. Now, we're tucked further in for the south wind coming from over there. There should be zero fetch. We've got pretty much all of our 50 meters of chain out, and we are in 4.5 meters of water. So technically we're around about 9 to 1, 10 to 1. So it can blow all it wants in this beautiful muddy sandy bottom. With that mantis in and that mantis chain out, this thing is not going anywhere.
I'll start undo it. I know there were so many ways I could have dropped it and like broken something. Alright. Do you want to put an extra rope on there in case it's not? Oh, okay, instead of putting it on the strap, okay. Because the strap itself might fail, might it?
Exactly.
That doesn't mean. Sorry. Okay, what's happened?
Right, so I've got to loosen it off, lift it up, swing it out, lower it down. You've just got to guide it onto the transom.
Yes.
Remember, this swivel will swivel any way you want it to go, so. Right, is it in the middle of the transom? Yeah. Okay, tighten. To have her back in the water.
Yes.
Summer sailing season 2021 is official.
Yes. That was
48 knots. Jeez. You did have the dinghy down on the painters, but because we're whipping around so much, and the dinghy was actually being exposed to the gusts and actually lifting up out of the water, so she's much safer on the davits, plus the fact that if we do need to haul our backsides out of here, we are ready to go, and no worries about the dinghy. When big winds like this blow in, we usually say, why does it always happen at night? Well, we're actually getting it starting during the day, which means we can monitor things and monitor our position from the shore. And the thing is, it is actually going to go through the night as well. Hopefully things should peak sometime around about between 6 tonight and 9 tonight. Whoa, here comes a big one. So yeah, we will be having to do this at night. But the great thing is, as I say, we've got our marks on the shore, and we're fairly confident that mantis is not going anywhere. Boat life, eh? If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, and if you're not already a subscriber, whoa! Then become a subscriber by clicking the button down below. Holy crap.
We're healing. That was a big one, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think the sustained winds are somewhere around about 25 knots, but these gusts are coming in. 48 knots was the biggest one so far, and that could have been slightly bigger. Any hoozle, we're here now. We're here till the end of this ride.
Couldn't pay for one as exciting as this, could you? Because you don't actually know how it's going to go.
Yeah, there's no getting off this ride. No. Those gusts are what we're getting every 3 to 4 minutes, maybe less, maybe 2 to 3 minutes. But when it calms down, it's almost as if nothing's happening at all. And then these gusts just come ripping through. And like I say, so far, it's now 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're still in the same position we were. So it looks like the ground tackle's doing its job. Our get out of dodge option is Didim Marina, which is just an hour away, and quite fortunately it is in the direction that the wind is blowing, so we wouldn't have to fight into the wind or fight the waves. We would just go with it and go straight into the entrance of Didim Marina. But like I say, ground tackle's doing its job. Looks like we're here for the entirety of this ride. The weird thing is, looking at the wind prediction websites, both Predict Wind and Windy, the wind should be coming from that direction there. And in actual fact, it's coming from that direction there, which presumably is an oddity of the way the mountains here are funneling the wind into the bay here. Either way, whichever direction it's coming from, it's not much fun. It's now Sunday morning, and we made it through the night. We are still in exactly the same position that we were when we went to bed, which is great. So again, a big thumbs up to our Mantis anchor. In Mantis we trust. Right now though, we've got kind of like a normal-ish wind and a bit of rain coming down. Sadly, this rain is not going to clean the boat because it's got Saharan dust in it, so the boat's just going to get covered in a load of brown sludge. The expression "it never rains but it pours" comes to mind. We've got the dinghy up, as you can see, but I've taken the bung out, so if any rain does collect in there, it will fall out of the back end. Today we're just going to sit tight. It is a travel restriction day. Sunday is a no movement day, so we're going to sit tight and do some editing today. Our mate Jim on our buddy boat Acheron has recently been in Marmaris and had some upgrades to his boat, which makes him more self-sufficient. So surplus to requirements after having his lithium batteries and big generator installed and a few other bits and pieces are the shore power battery charger of his. The current one that we're using is 25 amps. This one is 60 amps. And Jim said if we can use it, then he's happy to give it to us. So we're going to fit that at some point, not today. Today we're going to be using this other gift that Jim gave us, which is a generator. He's just had a brand new generator installed, and this portable one is just taking up space on his boat, so he's kindly giving it to us. And today is the perfect day for giving it a good test run. We need to edit, so we need power, and the clouds in the sky means there's not enough sun hitting our solar panels to give us power to charge our batteries. So this little guy is going to do the job. We're going to get it set up, we're going to power it on, and we're going to flick the switch. Once we have this thing started up, we have two outlets here for 220 volts. We'll only be using one of them, and it's just a case of plugging our shore power into here, and then the boat thinks it's on shore power and everything will work on the 220 volt system. Being petrol driven, of course, it does have an exhaust, so we've got to make sure that this is aiming downwind so that we don't gas ourselves with noxious fumes. Perfect spot for this is right here next to the swim platform. Obviously at anchor we are downwind anyway because the boat will point into the wind, and we've also got our shore power cable connection in here, so it's not a very long distance to travel. Now our panel is showing that we've got shore power, so we're going to switch on our battery charger, which is the one we need, and we're also going to switch on our 220 volt AC plugs around the boat.
And then the microwave and the hairdryer and
all the important things, obviously.
Yeah.
And so that's it. We now have plenty of power, probably for the next, I don't know, 5 to 8 hours. And we don't have to worry that we've got no sun and we're not going to bugger up our house batteries.
How much fuel does it take?
I don't know what the fuel capacity of the tank is. I haven't got the instruction book from Jim yet. I also don't know how many litres per hour it uses. So as soon as I have that information, I'll either put it on screen right now or I'll put it in the description below this video. Cheers, Jim.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate. Well, what a difference a couple of hours make. Well, it's been more like 2 days, but it's a couple of hours since it stopped. I'm talking about the wind. Here in Acapulco Bay, we've endured 48.4 knot gusts, and we are still in one piece. Just going to show you a couple of things that happened while all that wind was going on, and explain what we've got going on and why we've got them going on. When we put this snubber line together, we thought we'd put some shave protection on it for when it goes through the fairlead here. Well, it turns out that this shave protection is not as good as we thought it was going to be. This is what happened during the big blow. I don't know whether it's just friction or whether the line has broken that from the inside, but either way we're going to have to rethink our shave protection. It's actually happened here too. As you can see, that's separated from that side. So that's not so good. We're going to have to figure something out as a better shave protection for our snubber line. During that 2 days of the big blow, we also got some Saharan dust filled rain coming through, so all of the hatches are filthy, as is the rest of the deck of ABC. Also, as the violent wind gusts were swinging us from side to side in quite a vigorous manner, we noticed that the helm wheels were spinning as the rudder was getting whipped from one side to the other in the water. So we ended up lashing the wheel and the rudder in one position with this little bit of rope.
Give us a big thumbs up if you like this video, or a thumbs down if you didn't. Next week we anchor in the bay at Gurchamlar Beach, but only stay for 5 minutes before moving on. Make sure you watch that video to find out why.